how's it going? Today we are going to review the latest Christopher Nolan movie that came out more than just a week ago, which is called Dunkirk. And yes, I know a review for this movie is a little bit late, but hey, better late than never, am I right? But anyway, the basic premise of Dunkirk is that it tells the true story of the evacuation of how more than 400,000 men got out of those beaches. And while they are trying to find safety to get off of those beaches, they are still getting barraged by several German forces. And this movie basically tells how those men got evacuated to safety. Now, like I said before, this movie was created by Christopher Nolan. And Christopher Nolan, I would say, while not my favorite director, he's still one of the most visually talented, brilliantly minded directors out there. I mean, he is infinitely famous for creating such things like Memento, the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Insomnia, and The Prestige. And while there are a lot of people out there who liked his recent movie Interstellar, I, however, am not one of those people who like Interstellar. In fact, I would go so far as to say that it's one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen in my life. So now we are here with Dunkirk, and while I was still anticipating for this movie, I was still kind of skeptical to see what movie we would get. Are we gonna get a movie as visually stunning as Inception, or are we gonna get a movie as pretentious as Interstellar? And now finally, I'm here telling you that not only is Dunkirk way better than Interstellar, but Dunkirk is a visually stunning, thrilling, bleak, uncompromising war survival film. And why is this movie so good, as I've heard from a ton of people? Well, let me tell you, one of the biggest things that Christopher Nolan is really known for is immersing you in the experience of the entire film. And one of Christopher Nolan's biggest techniques is applying realism to the film to make you feel like you're there. And what you see in this movie is that Dunkirk utilizes real boats, real locations, real aircraft, multitudinous amounts of extras, non-theatrical explosions, and you know what? It works. Every boat explosion seeking an attack, every beach attack, every dogfight, feels very authentic and realistic. It doesn't really feel completely theatrical. And I just want to say also that this movie is not your average typical war movie. What I would summarize Dunkirk is that imagine if Hacksaw Ridge just began at the Battle of Okinawa, or Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor if it just began with the attack on Pearl Harbor. The moment the movie begins, you're in the Battle of Dunkirk like that, and the movie never lets up. There's never a dull moment. You don't have characters telling each other what they want to do or saying that they got family or relatives back at their home, which automatically translates back to one of the tiniest flaws I have with this movie, is that it's a tiny bit hard to get any kind of emotion, you know, to care about any of these characters. You never get that kind of moment because they feel like real people. Here's the thing. People die in war constantly. Are they ever gonna have a happy ending? No, not really. People are gonna have their legs severed off or their hand exploded. Not every single person is gonna have a successful character arc. And as you're watching this movie, you're not watching characters, you're watching people. Real life people in a terrible situation. And sometimes you do care about these characters. Not by words, however, but by actions. You know, in one of my favorite action movies of all time, Mad Max Fury Road, how every character in the entire story is completely developed by the character's actions? Here, Dunkirk follows that same kind of philosophy that Mad Max Fury Road has, and it pays off. There are also some very stellar performances from actors like Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, Cillian Murphy, Mark Rylance, and while Harry Styles isn't really considered an actor, I still think he acquits himself admirably here. And a lot like every other war movie from Saving Private Ryan, Hacksaw Ridge, you're gonna get incredible sound design. And it feels very satisfying. It doesn't feel completely overexposed. The sound of the guns firing at things, the sound of planes flying over the sky. And you know how I said that some of the characters are very simplistic, that you don't have a lot of emotion behind them? The characters may be simplistic, but its storytelling, however, isn't. It's very unique. And of course, I won't tell you how they go into this story because it mostly devolves into spoiler territory. I'll tell you this much. I saw a character that I've seen before, and then in the next shot, I saw him in the nighttime, and I was like, wait a minute. Okay. Alright. I get it. Brilliant. And I would of course like to add, the violence, it's a bit staged. You're not gonna get a movie like Saving Private Ryan or Hacksaw Ridge. It is PG-13. But as far as violence in a PG-13 movie goes, it didn't really bother me because I was still immersed in the experience I was being given. So overall, Dunkirk is an absolute experience that you should see in IMAX. The directing is on point, there's stellar performances, there's lots of great sound design, and its story is very uniquely told. And while the characters are a bit lacking, you still kind of cared about their situations because of their actions. And here's the thing, guys, even though I am going to give Dunkirk a 4.5 out of 5, I still believe it's one of the best films of the year. This is a movie you should absolutely see. I mean, heck, I give movies a 4.5 out of 5 that were in my best of the year list. Like, for example, Krampus, Deepwater Horizon, and possibly this movie. Go see Dunkirk as soon as you can. Alright guys, that is my review of Dunkirk. Comment below, let me know what you thought about the movie. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. And also be sure to subscribe for more. My name is Luke Nukem, and I have to say this. Christopher Nolan, well played, man. Well played.